got a sponsor?
No, he has to cook.
Oh, gonna cook, coach.
That's the thing. Cook and then clean the pot before 1 o'clock. Before they
राधे राधे श्याम सिंह राधे
श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता His Grace Shikhi prabhu. It was scheduled for Amayanda Prabhu, but due to some like to speak about Gita, Bhagavad Gita.
The relevance.
Relevant of Bhagavad
For
Gita.
nowadays, right? He did 5,000 years ago. Well, this is now.
So, and he's also going to talk about a little bit about Gita Jayanti is coming soon. How to distribute more Gitas. So, Shikhi Mahaprabhu is a direct disciple of His Holiness. He's great. His divine is A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. So, also Shikhi Mahaprabhu is also one of these initiating guru of Iskcon. Iskcon, Prabhupada left. Before Prabhupada left, he established a lot of his senior disciples to become guru and initiate. And he also established governing body commission to manage the whole society. So after Prabhupada left, so there are many Prabhupada disciples who are initiating from Srila Prabhupada, and they're accepting disciples. So this is a very nice system of Guru Parampara, to connect yourself with the Guru Parampara to accept initiation. And Shikhi Mahaprabhu is also a co-temple president of this place here, Atlanta, and is serving for many years in this temple here. So let's welcome Shikhi Mahaprabhu by chanting one time Hare Krishna loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So after this Sunday lecture, feast lecture is over, we'll have more kirtan, and I think there's 2 sponsors there for Sunday feast, and then we'll have more kirtan, and there will be a prasadam for everyone. Hare Krishna.
Oh, there he is. Give me his plate before he comes. Hey, we got your plate for you. He has your prasad. Actually, we're supposed to have Amarinda. How many people know Amarinda Prabhu? He wasn't feeling well, so on the last minute. Anyway, I'll do my best. I am not Amarinda. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Thakur was in that painting behind our Guru. That was his spiritual master. So he is the one who reestablished this formal organizations for expanding this Krishna consciousness or this Bhakti Yoga or this Dharma to go outside of India. Because generally, especially with Vaishnavas, they were very humble, they would just do their bhajan, and if someone would approach them, then maybe they would say something to you, right? It's that verse indeed of Tatvini Paripatrena Paripatrena Sevaya Upadeshanti Tejyanam Gaminas Tattva Darshana. If you want to know the truth, you have to find a Tattva Darshana. And somehow or another convince him to engage you in this transcendental knowledge. So we are followers of Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu, he didn't engage like that. He was walking in the streets, chanting, even in places where people didn't want to. Because he had so much love, he wanted to give. So Bhaktisiddhanta established a formal organization, the Gaudiya Math, with the printing press. And he had his disciples write articles. And you'd be surprised which articles he considered the best. It wasn't how scholarly they were. So how many times did they say Hare Krishna in an article? That was the most important part. So by connecting with Krishna's name, hearing Krishna's name, then the transcendental energy of the spiritual world is imbued in us. So that's the most important part. Maybe in the beginning we don't really feel it because we are kind of contaminated. Like when you have jaundice. I don't know, anybody ever had jaundice? Your tongue becomes covered with the saliva. So everything you taste, it tastes the opposite. Especially sweet things. They taste bitter. So we're like that. When we're Hare Krishna, we go, you know, that's okay. Because there's a vidya of ignorance that's covered in us. But the more you chant, the more it takes away. But the more you take your sugarcane juice, the jaundice goes away. Just like that. So all these things are here to inspire us to do this. This Bhakti and all these things. So we'll sing Radha Madhava. and then we'll have some small talk about this Bhagavad Gita. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari If you have young children, on our building over here, we have a Sunday school for the children where they can do some Krishna conscious activities. As they sit here during a class, it's a little hard for them. So if you follow, who was you and who just by yourself? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Today.
The children can go over Sunday school class and then come back for Prasad, if you like. Hare Krishna. Jaya Vishnu Paramahansa Bhagavata Sutta Sata Sri Srimad is the divine grace and see Bhaktivedanta Swami Shiva Prabhupada Ki Jaya. Nanti Kare Vaishnava Ki Jaya. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Vishnu Dvaita Gadadhar Shri Bhaktivedanta Ki Jaya. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gogo Gopinath Shyamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jaya. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jaya. Samadaya Bhaktivedanta Ki Jaya. Gaur Prem Anandi. Glory to the Son of the devotees. All glories to the Son of the devotees. All glories to the Son of the devotees. All glory Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana-timiranja Salakaranjanam Salakaya Chakshurvanina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vanchakapauturviyascha Kripa Sindhu Deva Chapatitana Pavino Vaishnavyo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasri Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. So coming Tuesday, not this Tuesday, but the next Tuesday, which is an Ekadasi, is Gita Jayanti. It's coming late. Amarinda became sick, so I'm giving this minute class. Sometimes last minute class is good too, it's all spontaneous. Can't plan it. Gita Jayanti, that's the day the Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. Of course, when he was speaking to Arjuna, it wasn't like, okay, now I'm going to speak Bhagavad Gita. You know, But, of course, Vyasadeva. Everyone know who is Vyasadeva? Yes? Say Haribo. Yes? Who doesn't know Vyasadeva? Raise your hand. Okay, we all know. He is the literary incarnation. He's empowered by Krishna to compile all these Vedic literatures for us. And specifically the Puranas, such as Srimad Bhagavatam, this Mahabharata, which this Gita Upanishad is a part of. So, as we know, Lord Krishna, he says in the Gita, Yada yada idama samadhanir bhavati bharata. He's always coming. Right? Paritvanaya saranam vinasyacha duskritam. Dharma samstarpanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. I have to reestablish these religious principles and annihilate these miscreants. He's coming like this. So, these are, as he mentioned, this is religious principles, which is different than Bhakti Yoga, in a sense. They kind of cross the same things. But the Bhakti Yoga is, as Krishna says, directly to me. Mamana mana bhakto. Unto me you do these things. It's personal. Right? Where is the greatest pleasures that we receive? Even materially speaking, if you think about it, where are the greatest pleasures? Is it from the objects? I got the new Tesla with the full automatic drive. Woo-hoo! But I don't have any friends. What's the point, right? You drive all by yourself. It's not so enjoyable. Or you have envious people. Oh, you think you're so wonderful. Look at you have everything. But the pleasure is in relationships. Therefore, the Supreme Person of Godhead is stated that once in the day of Brahma. What is that day of Brahma? It's 1,000 millenniums. A millennium is the 4 yugas that are there. It's like, billions of years. Once in the day of Brahma, he will come and display all these personal pastimes of his relationships, so that we can hear about them and see them and taste them. Because this is what we really want. We want to experience these things. Well, as we know in this material world, yes, you can come in anywhere, sit if you like. Can you sit on the floor? If not, you can take a chair. We're going to have our little Gita discussion, and then we'll have some more kirtan later. So. Your first time coming?
Yeah.
Where are you coming from? Were you from Atlanta? Yeah. Okay, nice to meet you, Hare Krishna. So this particular 5,000 years ago was very unique because Krishna came and he displayed his Damodar Lila. Imagine that, The Arjuna said Krishna is Parambama, Pamadama, Paritnam Paramdama, that he's the supreme Brahman. Everything is emanating from him. And yet, he's running in fear of Mother Yashoda's stick. Bewildered. How is that possible? He's taking pleasure in that. So that same Damodar Lila, he explained, he displayed all those childhood pastimes. His Mathura Lila, where he goes into Mathura, finally Dwarka Lila, right, with the queens. And in the end, finally, meeting up with his relatives, his cousin, in particular Arjuna, we have this Bhagavad Gita being spoken. All of this is for our benefit in Kali Yuga. All this happened at the end of Dwapara Yuga. So who's benefiting from it? It's for us. It's all for us. So, this Bhagavad Gita, again, is spoken by Krishna, and it was, of course, as we know, the scene in which it was coming about. How did it all come to play? One of his most intimate devotees, Arjuna, who is his cousin. What was the lives like for the Pandavas? Wasn't very nice, was it? So much tragedy. You think, how can such great devotees they have such tragic lives? You think being a dear to the Lord, everything should be so easy, right? You walk on gold, and it never rains on you, and whatever you want is fulfilled, isn't it? This is the material concept. Oh, if you love me, then you make my life so nice and peaceful, I don't have to worry about anything. So this spiritual love is even deeper than that. You never hear them complain. Well, maybe Draupadi a little bit, but generally. Because they knew their purpose. So, what was the scene? Of course, we talked about Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is as we know, he is the father of Dhritarashtra, right? You all know Mahabharata, isn't it? Because through the tragedy, the king died early, and the two wives, they had no children. And they were in a very big responsible position. Not like nowadays, everybody elects the president. But back then, these leaders, they were very special. They were not just king, Raj, but they were rishi. Well, what's so important about that? Well, the rishi, you're fully satisfied. Nothing, not disturbed by anything. You don't have wants, you don't have needs. And the Raj Rishi is so advanced, he's in that position simply for making the lives of the praja, of the citizens, happy. Not like nowadays, isn't it? As soon as someone becomes president, they bring my relative, this relative, get positions for all my friends. Who cares about you all? We'll give you some tax breaks or something. Yeah. So, very, very difficult position to be in as a saintly king. And those kings were very powerful, of course. They owned everything. So, matter of fact, this Dhritarashtra and all, they are descendants from King Bharat, who this planet was named after, Bharatvarsha. Imagine that one person, such a powerful king, he ruled the whole earth. Now we have like 150 kings, I guess, 150 countries. 2 or 3 really controlling everything, but hardly any are Rajrishi. This is what's required. Knee surgery, I'm going to stretch this a little bit. This is what's required for materially speaking to make society proper. You see? To implement Krishna's plan for the world. So when Kali Yuga is mentioned, especially in the first canto, in the first chapter, it mentions that how in this age of Kali, it says, Pranena Pashal Sabya Kalo Asmin Yuge Jana Mandala Sumandana Matayo Manda Bhagya Upar Uta, that in this age, because of the influence of the mode of ignorance and somewhat of passion, people will become quarrelsome, right? Why do people quarrel? This is wrong, that's wrong, it's your fault, it's my fault, give me, what? Nobody's peaceful. One little small thing, everybody's upset. It's your fault. They're not only they're quarrelsome, they say they're lazy. Lazy doesn't mean they don't want to work, but especially for spiritual matters. Lord Chaitanya has made this process very easy. What do you have to do? Just chant Hare Krishna. I have no time. Too late. You can't find time. Only in 2 hours out of 24. And you get so much. So what is this? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna? Come on. And you don't have any faith. So we're lazy and we're misguided. You see the leaders. Nowadays, does anyone push any spirituality or religiosity? No. They push You must get more technical degrees. You must become more technically advanced. Then you can earn more money. You become more happy. That's misguided. Because when you come into the world, did you bring anything with you? No. When you die, are you going to take anything with you? How many people remember their previous life? So why do we put so much importance on this one? You don't even remember. You have so many responsibilities. Just like now, I must do what? And then we're unlucky, it says. And it says, and above all, we're always disturbed. So this is Kali Yuga. So this Bhagavad Gita was presented for us at this time. And this Dhritarashtra, the whole scene was set, of course. Vyasadeva became the father of Dhritarashtra, nice long story. The Mahabharata, very nice story. And of course, he was not very saintly. That was the problem. He had desire, as everyone does. I want my sons to have something very nice. And he's so close to getting it. You know, I'm blind. Still, he's bewildered by this thing. So he plotted, I'm going to make my sons. These Pandavas, forget about it. My sons will become king. So all his children became irreligious. So see how much disturbance comes from irreligiosity. If he had any of these saintly qualities, he'd be peaceful. But he couldn't. Of course, we know this is all the arrangement of the Lord, so Bhagavad Gita is spoken. So even in the end, I thought it was pretty interesting now. There's this nice painting that you'll see back here of Sanjaya, his secretary, is speaking to him. That Vyasadeva was very powerful. So when the battle was about to begin, he asked him, I can empower you so you can see what's going to happen. You know, I don't want to see. He knew it was going to happen, but still he was hopeful. You know, he was hopeful. You know, imagine, Lord Krishna has an army which no one can conquer. No one. And the Kurus got to have that army. So they're feeling hopeful. And Arjuna, you see the relationship? Oh, he's my friend. How can I reject my friend? Who cares if I lose? You have a relationship like that with someone, that is very touching, isn't it? Doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor or whatever. Someone loves you that much. And he goes, fine, no, I don't care if I lose anything. I want my friend Krishna with me. He wasn't thinking he's the supreme person of Godhead. But that is also important because Krishna is so powerful no matter where he is. It's all auspicious. There's no way he was going to lose. He didn't have to do anything. He just has to be there. So therefore, he empowered Sanjaya to be able to see what's going on, and he spoke to him what was happening. So after all this tragedy, finally they're on the battlefield. Arjuna, of course, is Raj Rishi. He's not just Raj Rishi. He is intimate associate of Lord Krishna. To be intimate associate of Lord Krishna, you must be highly spiritually advanced person. Spiritual means my love for God is so great. It's described that there's different rasas or relationships with Krishna. The lower platform is neutrality. A person understands that I am not the body, I am spirit. And he's happy with that. I don't need activity. It's Brahman realization. Brahman satisfied. Above that, you become servant because why? Oh, Ishvara Sarvabhuta Nam Hrideshvara Dulatishati. This supreme person is in everyone's heart. Everything is coming from him. I come from him. You become what? In awe. Oh, you're so great. Okay? You're so great. So when someone is great, you humble yourself, don't you? So you become servant mood. And then Krishna's eternal energy is there to bewilder us for those whose love is so great that he makes them more intimate. They don't see him in his opulence. They see him as equal to me. So then you become their friend. Come on, Krishna, let's play. We're going to wrestle. and I'm going to beat you. Can you imagine that? That's from which everything comes from. I'm going to beat you in wrestling. So you can't have that mood if you're in servitorship mood. So there's friendship and all these other relationships in there. So Arjuna was in this relationship with Krishna. But by the arrangement of the eternal energy, he becomes bewildered on the battlefield when it's about to happen. He becomes emotional when he sees all his kinsmen sitting there. And imagine, if your relatives, you're fighting, and you have to kill your uncles and everybody. Who can do that? Huh? Or maybe a couple of you good people can do it. I always wanted to kill them. Actually, this war in the Ukraine that's going on between Russia and Ukraine, many Iskcon devotees are on both sides. And some of them are forced to fight. Can you imagine that? Because even the government captures you, what are you going to do? So you can imagine that. Like, how to go? Shoot at each other. They have to fight. What can they do? So Arjuna, he become very soft, because generally the Kshatriyas, especially back then, proud, pride, and nothing, even if they know they're going to be defeated, they don't care, like, let's come on. But he began to cry, oh, I don't want to kill these people, why should I? Even to the point he began to tremble. So then Krishna spoke this Bhagavad Gita to him as he tried to encourage him. So those lessons are very applicable, that in the beginning, of course, he talked more of Dharma and all these things. In the end, he finally tells him in the end, well, actually, just surrender to me. You don't have to do anything. But some of those main lessons out of the Gita are really Dharma, which is a duty and righteousness, or you can say it's fulfilling your responsibilities. So in India, especially, in most Asian cultures, especially in Indian culture, this duty is really embedded, isn't it? Western cultures, especially America, they teach individualism. Right? Make yourself happy as long as you don't disturb others, but be an individual. So then what happens? All the parents get put in old folks' home. When they get old, nobody thinks, So there's a little downside to that. Of course, that individualism really pushes this. It's good for capitalism, because people take risk. As a matter of fact, Prabhupada, he came to America in 1969, and his disciples were the ones who, they went everywhere. They practically gave up everything as soon as they met Prabhupada. You can't imagine what it's like to meet a pure devotee of Krishna. Imagine this person is 69 years old. He arrives in New York City, and he has a suitcase of books and 40 rupees. That's it. And he's in a place where people are, they're not religious. And even he saw it, he goes, these people have so much ignorance, I don't know how I'm going to save them. But somehow or another, you brought me here, so obviously you have some plan for me. So you make me dance, and you make my words suitable for them, so that they will accept your message. And he sat under that tree and just started chanting Hare Krishna, and began preaching, and he inspired so many of these irresponsible Western people to just give everything up. And they would take risks. They would go to places they have no money, like when they went to London. They had no money. And one of the couples that were just newly married, she had a young baby, almost like this age. And I asked her, I said, where did you sleep? She said, I get a big box and I go into the subway station, I lay down and sleep with my baby. Can you imagine doing that as So Prabhupada used to say, what the one qualification for the good qualification for the Americans? They were irresponsible. You could use that in Krishna service. Most of the Indian disciples, I have my mother, I have so many things I have to do. Like, how? I can't surrender, Swamiji, I'm sorry. So in the beginning, that was required to get this movement started. But later on, now our society is not so much that revolutionary, I guess you can call it. We're majority congregation with families. So we're going to get into how this Bhagavad Gita can apply to us. So this is Dharma, fulfilling our responsibility. It doesn't matter whether you're a professional, you're a student. You have to balance your personal ambitions with your family responsibility, isn't it? There's always that tug of war. I remember meeting a few years back one student, he studied here in America, chemical engineering. And when he came to Atlanta, he got into becoming devotee chanting, and he really, really wanted to be devotee. I said, well, you should stay here. He said, I have to go back. I said, well, can't you get a visa? He says, no, I studied chemical engineering. He didn't study software. They needed software engineers, not chemical engineers. So there's no visa pass for them. I said, why did you study that? Because my father told me to. It's very, actually very elevated, isn't it? Americans are like, I don't care what my father tells me, I'm going to do this. And it makes a disturbance in society, actually, doesn't it? It does. Society doesn't become peaceful as a result. Therefore, you find, actually, you think about it, you don't see India trying to take over the world, do you? Even when they're being subjugated. No, whatever. As long as they don't disturb our Dharma, we're fine. Because when the British came, they started messing with everything. They tried to turn them to British people. And then there was a problem. But under the Mongols, they kind of, okay, we got along, So this is one nice quality. Then another thing from the Gita that we can apply in our lives is detachment. What does that mean? It means you focus on the effort, not the outcome. Because we have to do so many things in our life. We have our career, we have so many things we have to do. And what you'll find is if you're very attached to that outcome, you won't be peaceful. So how can you become peaceful? You have to understand what? Ultimately, it's all up to the higher authorities in the end. You can have all the things there for success in place, and you fail. Because ultimately, it was not sanctioned by the Lord. You didn't get the full blessing of the Lord. In America, they call it good luck. But we know it's more than good luck, right? Maybe the demigods, let me do this puja, let me do that puja. But as Vaishnavas, we take shelter of Krishna. Why should I go to some demigods? So we can learn detachment in these things. That we do our duty, and this will be still in Arjuna also. You have to fight, because you're the king. You can't renounce your dharma at this point. And you have to do it. So be detached. But he couldn't detach from the emotions. Oh, look at my relative. Even the same relatives are trying to kill him. He was such a soft-hearted person, he didn't care. They're relatives, you can't kill them. And then another lesson we can learn is this equanimity, which means in the end that you become, you can say, pacified, peaceful. Because, modern life is especially in America, is very fast-paced, isn't it? You don't have the way capitalism is designed, you're always busy, they keep you busy. So sometimes things are up, sometimes things are down, especially if you're a business person. Very difficult to be a business person nowadays. Right? All of a sudden, Trump makes some tariffs, what are you going to do? So if you're equal poles, you can make the right decision. child is crying. It's still be equal. So we have to learn these things. And then beyond all this material duties we have, because we have this human form of life, we shouldn't neglect, especially if we are aware, especially people from India are aware, that you're going to die. So what's going to happen in death? You cannot say, I don't have time, I'll worry about that when it comes. It'll be too late. I borrowed so much money, but I don't know how I'm going to pay it back. I'll worry about it later. No, you can't do that. You have to fix it now. Things you must give attention to immediately are what? Fire. There's fire, doesn't matter how small. You're going to take care of it. Debt is another one. And don't let it sit there. Or bad health. Don't neglect these things. So we have to do these things. So above that means self-realization in our inner spiritual growth. How do you do it? You have to, if you make your spiritual self stronger, then you can do all these things very nice. That's why those kings were like Bardmar. He's able to conquer the whole world. Because he was a rishi. Mind is clear. You can handle things very quickly and easily. But if you take things personal, oh, I don't like what they said to me, and you're always dwelling on that, or you're always offended, you can't forgive. You're always lamenting, oh, why did this happen to me? It's not fair. I didn't deserve this. This world is designed like this. It's an ocean of faults. You're supposed to be perplexed. But nobody likes that. Because our nature is to be in the spiritual world. Well, there's no perplexity. There isn't any. So that's why this doesn't feel right. Okay. So, but then we take it to personal goals. You know, his fault, that fault, that fault. You don't learn how to. So as you awaken yourself spiritually, you're not disturbed by this. Well, how is that possible? Just like at night when you're dreaming. It seems real, doesn't it? When you lay down to go to sleep, nobody can remember the exact moment they went to sleep, but you feel you're in your dream, doing so many things. Maybe they're very nice, maybe they're nightmares. But as you wake up, you realize, oh, it is dreaming. So similarly, you're still dreaming. I'm Indian, I'm American, I'm this, I'm that, I have these duties to do, I have this to do, that to do, and it's also important. And we forget, when you die, it's not important anymore. So you can realize that. But the result of that realization is that you become Mayavadi, you don't do anything, I just sit around because I realized. No, you continue doing the things. But with purpose. Purpose means duty and for pleasure of Krishna. So we're talking these paths to liberation, these yogas that we're going to have to apply in our life. You know, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. Bhakti yoga, of course, is most important. If you awaken that love for Krishna, then you go to Krishna. But if you still want to fulfill your duties, okay, take another breath. Get some more duties. And then another thing that is taught from this Gita is we have to learn to surrender to the divine will of Krishna. Right? We're not the controllers. Ishvara Parama Krishna. They say Ishvara Parama Atma. There's Atma and there's Paramatma. So Paramatma is providing for all the other Atmas. We're all dependent. But today it's very cold, right? Bring some sunshine, bring some sunshine. Can anybody bring it? No. So we're dependent. And so in the certain times in our life where things happen, we have to accept this was the divine will of the Lord. And I accept it. When the good things come, does anybody complain? As a matter of fact, we take credit. Oh, what did I get? When the bad things come, oh, Krishna karma is all their fault, right? Even the atheists do that. They don't believe in God. But like when the hurricane comes and destroys New Orleans, they say it was an act of God. But when they make some nice building, oh, I did it. The intelligence came from Krishna. Materials came from Krishna. Everything came from Krishna. But I take all the credit. So we have to accept the good and the bad. And thus we don't lament. It doesn't mean lamentation is not there, but we don't drag it on and on and on. Even the great Mahatmas, you see them lamenting sometimes. It's a different lamentation. And then we have to realize the impermanence of the material, that it's all temporary. You can't hold on to anything. I'm almost 70 years old now. My knee, I just had knee replacement surgery, and I keep thinking, I remember I used to dance in the kirtan here. I used to jump up and down. And I'm just standing there. Can't even play Mridanga because it hurts. So everything's temporary. And then the interconnection of our responsibility to all the other living entities is not just about us. You see? Am I happy? And who cares about anybody else's happy as long as I'm happy? Is that really nice happiness? Hare Krishna. No, it's not. You see, Hiranyakasipu, he was the biggest demon of them all. No greater demon ever. He took over the whole universe. Even the demigods were afraid of him. And he was so powerful, he could do their jobs. They didn't even need them. So they're all lamenting, oh, please, you got to get rid of him. We don't have nothing to do with him. Still, he wasn't peaceful. His son caused him such great grief. So that shows how selfishness, it doesn't really satisfy you. So in the end, then we have to learn to balance and moderation of all these things. So all these things are in the Bhagavad Gita, in different chapters as you read them. And one thing I do a lot often if I'm experiencing something, I find one section of the Gita or sloka that kind of pertains to what I'm going through. And I meditate on that. You see? And it keeps me fresh and alive, you know. We have to learn to take shelter of Krishna's teachings. And then as far as, of course it's not as simple as that. It's simply you just read the Gita and do it. It would be nice if it was that simple. But life is very complicated. It's not just black and white as we know, isn't it? It's mostly gray. So Krishna consciousness is like that too. Mostly it's gray. Oh, just chant Hare Krishna. That's what the message. But in the end, it seems like we need a little more than that. So therefore, Krishna says you should take shelter of sadhu, shastra, and guru. All three. Shastra is saying this. First the guru, you the sadhus, and in the end, you make your decision. And then you learn from the results. And you continue to grow like this. And as you get older, all these qualities and all these things we're talking about become solidified and you become peaceful. So we can see in the life of, especially Srila Prabhupada, he was born in a very pious family. His father was a cloth merchant in Calcutta. Pretty successful. He wasn't rich, they weren't poor, but you know, they had a nice home and family, and there's the temple in which not just his family, but the extended family members would worship Radha Krishna Murtis. And this is in the late 1800s. Prabhupada, he was born 1896. So that's, of course, British era rule. Things are a little difficult. And of course, as he grew up, he kind of got caught up into the Gandhi movement. We have to take out the British so we can get our culture back. And his father was very pious. Actually, he says his father and mother were pure devotees of Krishna. They would always host sadhus in their home. See, this is one of the duties of the householder. The sadhus are living very simple life and trying to spread this message. So the householder should host them, invite them to their homes and serve them. You get so much spiritual benefit from that. Even material benefit. Krishna consciousness is not just spiritual benefit. Everything is there. Krishna says that in the Gita. He said, wherever there's Krishna Arjuna, all these things will be there. Our movement is kind of an example of that. We have these 3 buildings. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. So back in 1974, they bought these buildings. Nobody lived over here. All these homes were abandoned. You'd be surprised. It was during a period of time in the land, everybody allowed, and so you could just take a house and live in it. So we got these for almost nothing. As soon as we began to worship, it became so opulent. Now nobody can live here, it's too expensive, right? You got $1 million, maybe you can get a house. Maybe. Most of more than that. All become opulent from just because of the presence of Krishna. Your life become like that. I've seen that in my own life, you know. I mean, I'm not super rich, but I always see how I have the things I need somehow or other, even though maybe you may be a little stressed out sometimes. But Indian Krishna takes care of his devotees. So he wants to help us to go back home, back to Godhead. So Prabhupada's life was like that, and his friend one day met Bhaktisiddhanta, and he told him, oh, I met a nice sadhu. He said, I'm not interested in these sadhus, because the sadhus that would come to his father's home were kind of, they weren't so serious. Some of them smoking ganga and all these things, ganja and things like that. But still, he would host these sadhus. And the friend dragged him to meet Bhaktisiddhanta in Calcutta. He heard him speak. So after hearing him speak, he began to challenge him a little bit. Yes, this is very nice what you're saying, but right now, we have to put the British out of India. And then we can spread the Dharma all over the world. Who's going to respect us if we're subjugated? He says, we don't have time for that. This message is too important. So I want all you young boys who's English educated, you take this message around the world. And it touched Prabhupada's heart, and he took that mission up. He was a young man with family. He started studied chemistry. Nowadays they call it pharmacy. Back then the chemists used to mix their own chemicals. Now they just kind of take them off the shelf, right? So he's a pharmacist. So he started a whole big company. He thought, I'll make money, and then I can spread Krishna consciousness. And he became very wealthy, he said. At one point, he said he was so wealthy, he could have been one of the wealthiest men in India. But one business deal fell apart. One partner kind of cheated him. And he lost everything. He was in his 50s. He was so poor, he had to send his family to live with relatives. Can you imagine it? What is the embarrassment you would feel, right? But it didn't bother him. He understood this must be Krishna's will. It must be Krishna's will. So what did he do? He took sannyas. He didn't go get 2 jobs. He recognized what is Krishna's will. Because actually his mission was for this. We would not be here now if it wasn't for Srila Prabhupada coming on that boat. And then he went to Vrindavan, and he was struggling, trying to print books and so many things. Anyway, long story short, eventually, somehow or another, he got over to America, which was an impossible task in those days. In those days, India didn't have much foreign reserve, so you had to get permission from the bank if you're going to travel abroad. So they said, what is your purpose? I'm going to spread the mission of Lord Krishna. Next! Why are we going to spend money on that? We don't need more religion. But still, somehow or another, despite all these blockages, he got in. So it was Krishna's arrangement to make it more glorious. Imagine if he came as a millionaire. Then people would say, oh, he's a millionaire. Of course he did it. He had so much money. But to do it as an old man with no money, that is glorious. Is it not? 11 years, he published how many books? It was like 70 volumes almost. 70 volumes of books. I mean, these are big books, they're not little books. Opened 108 temples. Circled the globe. It was 8 times. 70-year-old man until he was the age of 81. And then he left his body. So that example should inspire us. This is how we should live our life. Yes, you do your duty. You take care of your family. In our heart, we should be thinking also not just some small goals. Let's make some higher purpose. The world is in disturbance, right? Especially now, I don't know, who's Trump supporter now, but it seems like it's about to all, we're going to make tariffs. Oh, come on, we're going to destroy your people. To me, this is Krishna's plan. We don't know what Krishna's will is. Everything happens by Krishna's will. There's no accidents. There's none. So our purpose should be, let us fulfill Krishna's mission. What is this mission? That all these people who would never heard anything about Krishna, about Vedic life or anything, let us give them an opportunity. Especially coming from India. People know these things, but yet we just keep it to ourselves. That's not mercy, that's selfish. I was a 16-year-old boy living in Gary, Indiana. Who knows Gary, Indiana? Nobody. It's an insignificant place. I never heard of vegetarian anything. But my brother was going to a university in Chicago, and he seen devotees dressed like this, chanting on the street, which had to be a shock. I don't know, I probably would have ran away. Oh my God, who are those people? But he bought one book from them and brought it home to me. And I read it. And it inspired me to become a devotee. So there are people out there who will be devotees. You just have to find them. So we have these Bhagavad Gitas which we're sponsoring, what we request, especially, I was a brahmachari for 10 years, and I got married, and I went back to school. I used to work for AT&T, I retired. But even in my workplace, I was able to distribute so many Bhagavad Gitas. You'll be surprised, especially many Western people, they really admire people from India, because they see the success, they see the calmness, they see all these things. But they don't know how to understand, why are you like this? So what I used to do, I'd give some people, I tell them, of course wasn't Indian, but you can tell them, especially Christmas is coming up. I want to give you a book so you know something about my culture. That's all. You hand them Bhagavad Gita. They'll be touched. Your neighbors, especially the Western neighbors, I just want you to know something about myself. I admire you. I say we talk, we're friends, so you take this book. And I had one boss, I used to report to one vice president in AT&T. He was a big office on the floor, a big library behind him. And they were just starting to bring in, this is in the 80s, they were bringing in contractors. 2000s. First Indian contractors coming in. So they didn't know, wow, these Indian people are coming in. So I told him, I said, you want to know anything about these Indians? I said, you read this Bhagavad Gita. He goes, really? Yeah. Because I told him, Hare Krishna, I'm in India and all this. I said, you read this, and then you'll get a sense of what they're like, and you can do, oh, okay. As a matter of fact, so I put it on his bookshelf. If people come to this office, they can see it. I said, you keep it there so when they come in, they see you have Bhagavad Gita. And they're going to, oh, okay. He knows something about our culture. They'll really respect you a little more. So he's okay, I'll put the Gita there. And then when I would talk to the other Western people, and I'm trying to explain some of these things, they go, what are you talking about? What is this? I would say, John Stacy has Bhagavad Gita. Really? I said, next time you're in his office, look on his bookshelf. You see his Bhagavad Gita? Really? Then everybody else would take one. So you can be a little tricky. But you have to put the books out there. You have to spread this knowledge. This is your duty to do this. Why let the world go on suffering? Huh? The world suffers, you're going to suffer, or your children are going to suffer, or the children in the future are going to suffer. So if you get this knowledge out, you can save the world again. You just have to get more books out. And why should not people accept this? It's so thorough, isn't it? Any honest man can accept this Bhagavad Gita. You know, why one little Bible like that? You got 70 volumes of books. Tell you everything. So we request all of you to, on this Gita Jayanti that's coming up, that you at least sponsor one case of Bhagavad Gitas. You take them home and give them to your Western friends. Somehow or another. Just like that. Hey, I want to give you a Christmas gift. I know I'm not Christian, but a Christmas gift because I want you to know something about my culture. They'll be so happy to receive it. And it doesn't matter whether they read it or not. They don't even have to read it. If they put it on their bookshelf, that Bhagavad Gita is no different than the Murti of Krishna. Their house will become spiritualized. They make spiritual advancement. It's so powerful. So this is one of the duties that we can take up for Krishna. He came, spoke this Bhagavad Gita. Did he just speak it for Arjuna? If it was just for Arjuna, then Vyasadeva wouldn't have published it. So he published it for a reason. Because he wanted everybody to have it. So you take the risk and give it to everyone as much as you can. And you'll see the world change. I was 1971 when I got the Bhagavad Gita. I couldn't even pronounce the words Krishna, Arjuna, I don't know. I just skipped over it, but when I read it, I understood it. Somehow. And I can remember that, like I said, I never heard of vegetarian. I told my mother, I said, I'm not going to eat meat anymore. She said, what? What's wrong? Are you crazy? I said, I've been reading this, and it says this, it says that. So I don't care what that says. You're going to have to eat meat. If you don't eat meat, you're going to die. that was the philosophy back then. I said, fine, let me die. So I'm taking you to the doctor. The doctor, they have their chart for the food. You have to do this, you have to do that. I don't care. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to. So she went home and said, fine, I'm not cooking any more vegetables. And you'd be surprised to know later on, well, I'm trying to eat less meat now. You see? We purified the world. These Hare Krishnas chanting and singing Bhagavad Gita, people begin to elevate. Now everybody knows, oh, don't eat meat, it's good for the planet. So many things, isn't it? Indians know this already. So that's come about because of our preaching and spreading the knowledge. Even that same mother now, she was very fortunate enough, I was able to take her to Mayapur, and she left her body in Mayapur. So it's very auspicious Bhagavad Gita. So we implore you all to at least take one case, not multiple cases, and let us all save this world. And Lord Krishna has become very pleased with you. He says that in the Gita actually too. In the end of the Gita, he mentions that. He says, one who explains this science to the devotees. So one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees. Pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, he will come back to me. He gives that pledge. Just imagine, he's speaking to Arjuna in the battlefield of Bhagavad Gita, and he makes this statement. He wasn't talking to Arjuna because Arjuna's about to kill everyone, right? He's not going to preach. So that statement is for us. That's for us. And he says, there's no servant in this world more dear to me than he. Nor will there ever be one more dear. This person is most dear to me. Because it's a risk, isn't it? A risk to approach people, and they're like, oh, why you bother me? You know, leave me alone, leave me. But I'm doing this for Krishna. That should make you feel good. Like Prabhupada. I'm doing this for Krishna. So, anyways, we'll stop here and ready for some Gita Jayanti, or we do some sponsorship first?
We do after that.
Okay. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Let's give a big Haribol for Shikhi mahiti prabhu. Haribol. Spoke about Bhagavad Gita. We'll have, I know many devotees last week and the week before they sponsored Bhagavad Gita cases. But we still have many cases to sponsor because our target is 108 cases. So far we reached 60 cases almost. So we need more devotees sponsoring. You can, just like Prabhu said, you can sponsor the case or you can take the case with you and you distribute. This is a very big Gita marathon going on all over the world. So many devotees are going out every day.
Yeah, even if you don't want to go out, we have devotees here who go out, like this devotee here, standing in the back. She's from India. And she goes on the corner here to sell books to the Western people. She's been doing it for many years. She has a job. Her husband has a job and all these things. But still, she takes some time, 1-2 hours, and she tries to spread this Dharma.
So
your Gitas, if you don't want to, she'll take some. We have some others over here. All those who go and sell books, raise your hand. Sometimes so we can
how many of you going for book distribution? Please raise your hand.
raise your hand. See a few devotees.
Few devotees are
Yeah,
there.
you can go sometime too.
I think Mataji, you also go. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to go on, if you want to go out for distributing books, you can get some books from the temple, and we have a lot of books. Now let's get it. And if you want to sponsor a case of Bhagavad Gita, we have a lot of cases actually in the office right now. I set it up for today. If someone wants to take, I know Radha Vinod Prabhu. He can sponsor a case of Bhagavad Gita, and he's going to take the case and distribute. Let's give a big Haribol for Radha Vinod. Haribol. So today our Sunday sponsor is Radha Vinod Prabhu and Vallavi Mataji. They're sponsoring Sunday feast on the occasion of their son's birthday today. So we'll have a little kirtan, then we'll have a little more announcement, then we'll have prasadam for everyone. Hare Krishna. So Krishna, please come and do the mini arti.
You'll do the kirtan?
Krishna for wonderful kirtan. We have our Sunday sponsor, Radha Vinod Prabhu and Vallavi Mataji. Can you come forward, please? And their son, Pushkar. Pushkar? Good name. So they are sponsoring Sunday feast on the occasion of their son's birthday. That is Pushkar's birthday. And he also got a new job in the Delta Airlines. So Radha Vinod Prabhu and the family, they are wonderful devotees. They have been coming for many years in this temple and serving in various ways. So we want to really thank this family and also want to chant happy birthday for Pushkar. Pushkar, yes? Can we chant happy birthday for him? We say happy birthday to Pushkar. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Pushkar. Happy birthday to you. Now please raise your hand and tilt towards him. Give him blessing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare turns 24. So, any prayers? Just a blessing? So they want the blessing. Actually, both the parents are devotees. Husband and wife both are devotees. They are initiated also in this Brahma Guru Sampradaya. And they are actually also serving in a very responsible service to the mission of Gauriya Mission, which is also in Metro Atlanta. And we really thank them also. They always help also Iskcon for many, many years. Actually, Radha Vinod Prabhu, a couple of years back, he has also headed the Rath Yatra festival of Iskcon Atlanta. So really, we thank this family for their service. And also we also thank Pushkar, who just got a new job, and today is also his birthday. Haribol! Haribol! So we chant 3 times loudly Haribol and he cuts the cake. Let's go. Haribol! 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 Let's go. You late? Okay.
Hare Krishna. We also want to, kind of with sadness, we're announcing, how many of you remember Jagannath Krishna Das? Probably don't see him very much because he's always working with Zoom classes. That many people see the Zoom classes, Ramarendra and all these things, with WhatsApp group, messaging, one of the IT people in the background. Anyway, he has to leave Atlanta because of job. So he will be greatly missed, and we appreciate, wanted to say we appreciate his service. He's not here with us today, I think. Huh? Jagannath Krishna. Yeah. So let's do this. Let us all raise our hands and give him some blessings and wish him great journey in his continued service to Prabhupada Iskcon. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So we have a couple of announcements, and there are some in this announcement. We will be mentioning different festivals that's coming up. You can pencil those dates, and you can take your valuable time out, and you can come and attend these festivals that are going to take place in the month of December. So we have December 11th, Wednesday is Moksha Ekadashi. And then on that day, 11th December, is also Advent of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. That means Bhagavad Gita spoken by Lord Krishna to his friend Arjuna. Haribo! So we'll have Gita reading in the evening, or even the daytime. Somebody wants to cover it, Bhagavad is fine. But we will not have the Jagya, Gita Jagya on that day. We'll have it on Sunday. We'll have it on Sunday. That means the Jagya will start from 4 p.m. 4 p.m. we'll have Yajna in the temple, and then it will be followed by Arati, little announcement, then there will be Prasad. So this Gita will take at least almost like 2 hours. But in the evening, on 11th, that's Wednesday, so we'll have Gita reading in the evening. So devotees come and read Gita, and we'll have Prasadam also, we'll have little Kirtan. There is a time, but we want devotees to come and study Gita, read Gita in the temple. Wednesday, I know everybody is working, but if you can make some time, and if you can come to the temple, that will be great, and you can put your time and energy for studying Gita on that day, because that is the day the Gita Jayanti is actual date. And then 18th is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur disappears day. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the spiritual master of his divine gaze. A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. So that is disappearance day. We will have a small festival during the day hours. We'll start from 11:30 and then we'll go on until like 1 o'clock. We'll have Pushpanjali, Arati, Kirtan like that. And then on 26th Thursday is Safala Ekadashi. And then also on the 20th, 21st and 22nd December, we have our annual Kirtan Mela, Kirtan Festival Mela. So this will be for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Kirtan will begin from morning 10 a.m. and it will go on until 10 p.m. in the night. So different devotees are coming from all around the world to participate in this Kirtan festival. So we encourage devotees to come, especially our local devotees. Please come and help us so that we can have a very beautiful festival. And you can enjoy the festival. You don't have to do nothing here. Just come here, chant Hare Krishna with us, and take 3 times prasadam. There will be breakfast, there will be lunch, and there will be dinner for all the devotees who are participating in this Kirtan Mela. Thursday, on the 20th of December, there is no Kirtan in the morning, but in the evening, there will be a Adivas ceremony for the Kirtan Mela. So that will start from around 4 p.m. and it will go on until 9 p.m. There will be Kirtan, but there will be Adivas, and then there will be more Kirtan, there will be also Adivas lecture, and then it will be followed by Mahaprasad. And then on the 20th and 21st, 21st, 22nd, Kirtan will go on from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Then on the 26th Thursday is Safala Ekadashi, and then 31st December we have New Year Eve. So we'll have Kirtan from 5 p.m. and it will go on until 12 midnight. And then at 12 midnight there will be Maha-Arati for the Lord, and you can, whatever agenda you have in your mind, whatever you want to say to Krishna, you can say, and you can make your plan throughout the year. What you want to do for Krishna and for Prabhupada. So this will be a very nice arrangement for you all. So you come and do Kirtan, but there will be prasadam at around 8 p.m. also on that day. But the Arati will take place at 12 o'clock midnight. Okay, that's all for today. And then also I'd like to thank Iskcon, Roy, Burma and Kadiri Burma family for sponsoring a case of Bhagavad Gita. Haribo! Then we have Ramanuj Prabhu also sponsoring a case of Bhagavad Gita. Let's also thank him also. Haribo! So we have, we still need a lot of sponsors for the Bhagavad Gita. Or now you don't have to sponsor, you can take the Bhagavad Gita also with you. So there is anyone who wants to take a case with you today, or if you want to take later, it's fine, but anybody also wants to sponsor a case of Bhagavad Gita, you can raise your hand. Anybody wants to sponsor a case of Bhagavad Gita? It's only $151 donation. Anybody else? Okay. But if you are not willing to do now, but you can come and see me. I will be sitting at the table there. I'll have a book table, so I'll be there. And if you want to sponsor a case of Bhagavad Gita, you can come and see me. Or if you want to do any seva for Kirtan Mela, also you can come and see me. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much. So now we'll have final darshan of the deities, and the prasad will serve inside. Hare Krishna.